I've tried all the good 6x6s on the market, and to me this is clearly the best one. There are several reasons for this, but one of them being out of the box, the cube is great. It is really fast, and compared to other 6x6s, you need to work on them for them to be good, like lubrication and adjustment. But here you can take it out of the box and set new records. As I stated, it is really fast. It is also, you could call it blocky, it's not that flexible. The MGC 6x6 is definitely more flexible, but still this is really stable with a strong magnetic strength, and I feel I can turn really quickly and still be confident. One thing that makes me super confident when I'm solving this is that it does not pop, which the MGC 6x6 does for me, at least at the tensions I'm using. So that is a good thing with this cube. It is also quite small, and I do like the smaller size. After being used to solving with this one and then switching to a MGC 6x6, it feels huge and clunky. I just prefer this size. So I don't really have anything negative to say about this cube. It's fast, good corner cutting, doesn't lock up and doesn't pop. For me, it's everything you want in a 6x6.
The MoYu Aoshi VRM is without a doubt the best 6x6 currently on the market. The cube is 6.3 cm, a relatively small size compared to the other 6x6s you can find, which provides a comfortable feel for cubers with smaller hands. There's no significant difference in size compared to even many of my 5x5s, so the awkwardness felt, especially on the 3x3 stage, on big cubes should be a memory of the past. The MoYu Aoshi VRM is also 20 or 30 grams lighter than its competitors, but if that weight difference is a decisive factor for you, you should really hit the gym. Out of the box, the cube is a bit too loose and tends to pop. However, after some tightening, it becomes very stable but stays exceptionally fast. It cuts corners almost like a 5x5, but never pops if you tension it correctly. Some minor lockups can occur, however, I feel these are mainly down to my sloppy turning or occasional overexcitement. Magnets in the outer layers feel alright. They may be a bit too strong for my liking, but I could adjust my turning style quite easily to it. My biggest complaint about the VRM's 6x6 come from the inner layers. Generally, I prefer big cubes with stiff inner layers to provide stable and consistent turning for the outer layers, as these are used about 80% of the solve. I feel the magnets in the inner layers aren't strong enough to stabilize this cube, resulting in sometimes accidentally turning the wrong number of slices during both centers and the edge pairing stage. Despite its rather hefty price, I definitely recommend the MoYu Aoshi VRM to everyone who wants to improve their times in 6x6. The only issue, however, is that the cube will be over its peak performance in 15-2000 solves, becomes a bit gummy, and lockups happen more and more often. But until it is good, it is so good that you just never want to let that feeling go. So be prepared for buying a couple of additional MoYu 6x6s in the future.
One of the first things that you will encounter on this puzzle is that its center caps fly out of the puzzle definitely way too easy just when you do some normal turning on the puzzle. And that is not very fun to have to put them back in between solves and during solves and so on. But those caps can of course be glued back, so after doing both that and also lubing it and tensioning it a bit, how does it perform then? It's both fast, it's smooth, pop resistant, has good corner cutting, it's just a very nice 6x6 to turn. I also believe that the magnet strength on this puzzle is absolutely perfect. It helps align the layers in between moves, and it helps to give that extra stability, which I feel is very good and helps me get better times on this puzzle. So even though this puzzle, this WRM 6x6, is the most expensive on the market, I do definitely believe that it's still the best 6x6 you can buy right now. If you also look at the final scores we've given this puzzle, you also see that it ranks almost as good even when we exclude the price, and that is a sign that it is actually worth the higher price tag. You can also take a look at how the cube is performing almost as good directly out of the box as it is when we've lubed it and tensioned it and so on. It's a beginner-friendly puzzle which works very well, for everyone from beginners to hardcore competition level solvers.